Welcome to the last episode of the Founding Trilogy. The why. And the why is a personal episode. This is why I care about self knowledge. This is why um, this is why I want you to have what nobody kind of gave to me, and it's something that I discovered myself. So this is going to be the personal episode, if you will. So buckle up. It's not gonna I'm not gonna be pulling any heartstrings or anything, but it's the core driver behind everything that I'm doing. So let's dive right in. So why am I doing this whole thing? Why am I doing Kaizen? I could be doing many other things with my life. I could be focusing on my career. I could be focusing on a ton of different things, and I'm choosing to focus on something that is just way beyond me and myself. And I'm choosing to try to provide something for others. And so, why am I doing that? And I was really frustrated by I was frustrated by something that I didn't really see people addressing. I saw people talking about it, and a lot of this whole Kaizen idea and Kaizen philosophy stemmed from this article. And the article, like I mentioned in past episodes, was the article from Anthropic of here are all the things that are going to be happening, and here's how AI could potentially be replacing you in your job, and here's everything that could happen, pretty much. And to think about that is very scary. How am I going to? I'm gonna get this over there. I realize that this is probably a terrible idea. So I recognized after reading that article of basically saying AI is going to take jobs in business, it's going to take jobs in the medical field, all these entry level jobs that were available, probably 5, 10 years ago, like when I was just starting my career. And for reference, I'm 26. So a lot of the things that I have done are not too far off from where a lot of people are right now. So um, I just can see the anxiety of students bubbling up already. Like I can just feel students leaving college and saying, "Okay, well, what's next?" I tried to get that internship over at big company A, and or I tried to get an entry level job over there, and it just didn't work out. And I could definitely see that problem. So I wanted to address that problem. And the first thing that came to mind was I should address the problem via teaching people how to use AI. Because higher ed is very slow to change. Um, and they don't necessarily change the fastest. But eventually they will catch up, right? Like, I mean, where I live, where I'm at, um, they are coming out with different programs um, for AI, and that's great. Where for like students to learn and get careers in Gen AI, or building AI models, use like engineering type stuff, and that's all fun and dandy. But it doesn't really answer the question of like, what is the average person going to do? Like, what if you're not somebody that is proficient in engineering and math and science and all the things that are very safe. What if you're somebody like me who's in business, who does communications, who um, does things that can be replaced by AI? What do you do? Um, and that's great. There's water here. That's the thing that I wanted to address. Um, so I just kind of saw that anxiety, um, and I can see the problem is it's not that like there's no tools. It's not that like somebody can go out there and look up how to use a tool, or um, go on Reddit and figure all that kind of stuff out, right? It's not. Oh, It's not that we can't do those things. It's that we don't know how we don't know ourselves well enough. So I addressed that in kind of the what. I have addressed that over time through this little trilogy series. But um, there are also programs that exploited that anxiety. They promised outcomes. I think we see all the time people just promising you things, um, and they just don't deliver. Like you spend your money to go 10x your income or to go learn something, and you figured out um, that it was just kind of a cash grab, and you didn't gain anything from it. And I hate that kind of thing. Like I want to deliver um, something truly meaningful, and that's entirely possible to do. So I saw that as well. I never like invested money into things, but I think a lot of the times people will try to deliver something to you like that's life changing, and then at the end of the day, um, it's kind of like a really, really, really rough blueprint. Like they don't give all the secrets away, and you kind of just walk away feeling like, well, that was kind of a waste of my time. Um, and the gap between what people were being sold and what they actually needed. Um, People can be selling, I think Alex Hermosi has like, those three books, and I was gonna buy those books, $100 million whatever, and kind of learn how to do those types of things. And I just wasn't really feeling it. Like I was very close to buying them, and then that's when I decided to buy the Kaizen book. So I went more towards that route of self knowledge, not the route of how do I get money by exploiting people. Um, so that's the frustration, was there's a lot of exploitation. Um, Nobody really cared about who I was. Nobody cared about anything else. They just cared about like what can I do, and what is the thing that I'm capable of making money on, right? So that's one thing. Um, so I think that clearly conveys everything, and I'm probably doing an awful job at doing this in an unstructured sense. But another reason is what I believe about people. If I were to turn my camera around without it breaking, you would see that I have a poster that says "Believe," um, and if you know that poster, you would know it's from Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso is one of the inspirations that I have, and that is I need to go get that is a core reason for Kaizen. It's the why. It's in there. It's like what I believe about people is such a big driver of what I want to do, and why I want to do it. So I believe that every person carries something worth drawing out. Um, Everyone is special. Everyone is unique. Um, it's just that most people have not been asked the right questions. Um, Most people aren't asked, who are you? Most people aren't asked what did they think. Um, and those are the things that I want to ask people, and those are the things that I want to draw out of you. Is your untapped potential. So from that, um, I believe that self knowledge is not a luxury. It doesn't. It's not something that is like. Let me take a step back as I try to draw out my thoughts here. It's not a luxury. It's not philosophical. It's not a philosophical exercise. Um, it's the most neglected competitive advantage that anyone has. Um, we just often forget that we have all the tools. It's just that we just don't know who we are. Um, and we don't know who we are because that's not something that we're taught in school. We're not taught to think introspectively. So we always compare ourselves to others. We always are striving to just be, the best, right? And we live in this world where we're constantly go 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 go, and we don't slow down to really think about what we want, what why are we actually doing all of this, right? Like what's the reason. um so that's some of the stuff that uh is just kind of what I believe about people. So all of that, right, is the person who has examined themselves honestly can walk into any room with confidence, and that's evidence based. It's not a performance, right? I think a lot of people say, and this is kind of just about. It's going to sound a little bit self centered and all that, and I kind of recognize that. Um, that I just like have this confidence about myself. I walk into a room. I got what the kids call aura, right? Um, I can get along with anybody. I can insert myself into any conversation, any situation, um, and I'll be fine. And that's not like just because it's my personality or whatever. It's just because I know who I am. Like I know what I can connect myself to. I know what experiences I have, and I tend to try to have that commonality with somebody when I just meet them. You're joking. There's more water, man. I just want some coal. I should probably just make some charcoal at this rate. Um, so when you actually get to know who you are and you focus on your strengths and what you're good at, and you're able to convey those things easily, then walking into an event, walking into any unknown spot just becomes that much easier. And we will cover all of those things, um, and work towards that together. And then there's a kind of confidence that you get in self knowledge that like it. I think there's a confidence that you have when you carry a degree, and you're able to just go in there and um, have that knowledge of like, wow, I can uh, I can I can say that I am confident in this because I have studied this. I think that's kind of like people with PhDs, people with masters like that have just kind of studied their entire for years. Um, there's a confidence that they carry when they do those kinds of things. But a self knowledge confidence is entirely different because um, it's something that isn't taught in a marketing class. It's not taught in a biology class. It's something that you have to work on and build on. So I believe we all have that in us. I just have that faith and that belief that like we're capable of those things. So the like idea of who am I building this for, um, and I'm really building this for anybody um, that wants to achieve their goals in life, that wants to chase their dreams, that wants to change their way of thinking and kind of better themselves, right? That's who I'm building this for. But I do have a target of, or an audience that I'm focusing on, and they fall under three pillars. So we have people who were, you know, just like me, not that long ago, which would be the students. So students that feel left behind, um, or they just feel behind in general, um, and they just don't know why. And maybe this is something that like you go to your career center and you're just trying to figure out, why. Oh, jeez. Why does somebody have what feels like everything going in their favor and you don't? Um, and we don't talk about that pretty often either. Is that idea of what could possibly be going on, and like you have the tools, you're doing everything right, but it just doesn't feel like it's enough. And this is something that we often experience. Like I've been going through like a weight loss journey, um, and you could be doing everything right, but the pounds just they're not shedding. Like what's going on? Um, and people have answers for those types of things, and we have answers for the reason that you might be feeling this way. So that's one, the student who feels left behind and does not know why. Number two is the professional who has been coasting on their accumulated experience. These are people that would be in a role already, and maybe your company is starting to think about AI and wanting to adopt AI, and you're somebody that is like, well, I don't even, you know, like there's just people out there who have been able to get by pretty far in life and go and do great things and make a great living for themselves. They have no idea technology or how to adapt to those things. So in long, this is the professional who has been coasting on accumulated expertise and knows somewhere that the world is, and knows somewhere that the world is shifting underneath them. So you kind of feel that shift. You know that things are changing, but you don't know what to do about it, and that is another set of audiences. I'm kind of referencing the exact target audience that I have. Lastly, it's student kind of like early career-ish, and then you have the established professional who wants to do it right. It's the oh, hold on. It's they want to do it right, or like maybe kind of in that same bucket as the other professional of like there's a little bit of a staleness in what and the knowledge, and you don't want to do something too fast, and maybe you want to level up in your career. Maybe you want to try to be a CEO, or you want to take on a larger role or something like that, and there's that type of uncertainty there as well. Um, so all three of these personas, they all need the same thing, and that is to know themselves clearly enough to direct something powerful. Um, and that's really a driver, is that we all are capable of doing something powerful and worlds changing, and we all have the power to do that, and that's what we're going to unlock, that potential. And a lot of this is going to sound a little bit similar, but it's really all kind of in that same um, vein of like the ideas. They all interconnect together, and they all work together for what, how, and why. And then as we kind of wrap this up, what do I want you to walk away with? And that has just nothing to do with AI. Like I want to make sure that that this is not an AI focused thing. Yes, we will be talking about AI, and if you don't like AI, that's fine. You don't have to use the tool. You can do this entirely without using AI. I have done the challenge without AI. I've just done it with a pen and a journal booklet, and I do want to provide like journals as well. So like for those who don't want to use AI and have AI converse with them on these types of topics, then we will be providing. I do want to provide that written experience to that analog experience, or is it manual? I guess we could say manual experience too. Um, so I want to do that. So I just want people to walk away with this way of asking better questions of like your work, of your assumptions, of um, of yourself. I want you to form the habit of examining rather than just experiencing, um, which would be, you live more of the examined life, not as kind of like the philosophy, but as the practice. So we just become more deliberate and calculated, and we're kind of always prepared. You have the confidence that comes from having that documented experience, um, and you have that evidence of who you are, and you don't just have that feeling about it. And you also have the knowledge that you're not behind. Like, you're just getting started. Um, I think we hear this a lot as well, where, if you don't get on the train now, like, you're going to be left behind. Um, but in the world of AI, in the world of job experience and all that kind of stuff, there's really no way that you'll be left behind. Um, we all have different stages of our life that we go through. We all have different experiences. Um, and all of those things can be translated in different ways. And no matter where you are in your life, um, just know that that's your starting point, right? Like, it's not that you started um, from somewhere way down the line. You can choose now. You can choose to start right now, um, and you're already ahead, right? Like, if that's how you want to think about it too. But just know that in the grand scheme of things, in the race of life, I know that some people may look like they're ahead, but we're all kind of like in the same. We're all in the same boat, really. Um, so you're not behind. You just got to get started. So if you're feeling that way, I don't know if I mentioned the interest form in this episode. I can't entirely remember. Everything is just kind of blurring together as we mine a lot of this cobblestone in search of some coal and iron, which we did get some stuff. So that's great. But I am over my 20-ish minute mark. So I will leave y'all with my personal episode of why I'm doing what I'm doing, and that is just because I believe in you, I believe in me, and I want to do something that has purpose behind it, and I want to do something that is driven by uh, real change and real experiences, and we'll do this together. And I hope that you feel empowered to start. And if you're not ready, just join me along on this Minecraft journey, and we'll be doing this together. Um, and yeah, I look forward to where this goes and the journey that we'll go on, and I hope that you're excited as much as I am. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And yeah, let's have a good day, and let me know down below how you're feeling. Kind of, give me a gauge. Let me know what you think about this house. Let me know what you think about this entire thing in general, and fill out that interest form if you want to join this Kaizen program and go on that journey. And yeah, just have a great day, and look forward to seeing you. And stay positive, stay true to yourself, and get out there and get at it. So see you guys tomorrow.